Heywoah, big. Dude, a big.
It's kind of cursed, but I like cursed. Speaking of, Daughters of Khaine. There she is. Morathi. Disciples of Murda. Many different peoples fight under the banner of order, but not all are the picture of disciplined soldiers fighting for hearth and home. There are some in the Grand Alliance who revel in the bloodshed of combat, wanton murders in gleeful service to their bloody-handed divinity. They are the Daughters of Khaine, gladiators, priests, and killers, and among the staunchest opponents of chaos found across the mortal realms. There they are. Hashtag new AOS. No Doomfire Warlocks detected. Maybe that'll be in the next one. Their Mortarch is Morathi-Khaine. Sorry, I said Mortarch. I meant Matriarch, but it just, I don't know. You've been meaning to ask, what is the song called? It's from Katawa Shoujo. I don't know, it's on their OST somewhere. It's like a hallway thing. And the DMCA robots haven't found it because I guess it's too obscure. And it's just a light, I just want some sort of like sound texture to be happening. It's kind of weird if you're talking and there's like nothing. So here we are. Anyway, good question. Yeah, wontons? We're not talking about food anymore. Their matriarch is Morathi-Khaine, once the high oracle of the cult of Khaine, and now its living goddess. As an ancient sorceress and mother of Malarian the Shadow King. Still waiting on that army, by the way. Morathi acted as a not quite divine member of Sigmar's pantheon in the Age of Myth. Her alliance with the rest of the forces of order has always been uneasy, but now that she has schemed her way into divinity, she's a far more unknown quality than ever in the Hour of Ruin. The cult of Khaine has existed since the first days of the Age of Myth, but where once it was a pitiful congregation worshipping the shade of a dead god, under Morathi's control it has bloomed across the mortal realms with enclaves in almost every city of Sigmar. Its followers were nurtured by Morathi to serve as her power base, long before her ascension to godhood, operating from her territory within Ulgu, granted by her once mortal son Malarian, now the divine master of the realm of shadow. The Canaanites express their devotion to their bloody-handed god through gladiatorial duels that hone their combat skills to a razor's edge, and a mastery of blood rituals and shadow sorcery. When Tyrion, Teclis, and Malarian schemed to entrap Slaanesh and prize out the elven souls in its belly, they turned to Morathi for aid. There he is, betwixt the realms of light and shadow, in the unending gray. I don't know, there's this gray zone, the neutrality zone, which is the least excessive anything. It's just the most gray area, and that's where they trapped Slaanesh. Least excess, I guess. She agreed to help in return for a portion of the souls reclaimed, and used those stolen souls, spirits, to forge her Scatheborn, elves twisted into monstrous new forms by Morathi's ambition. When the Realmgate Wars ended the Age of Chaos, Morathi's Coven were some of the earliest allies of Order to fight alongside the Stormcast Eternals, eager to wreak vengeance on the ruinous powers. Though their actions have saved countless lives and defended the domains of Order since time immemorial, the Daughters of Khaine are still mistrusted, and not without reason. They are a murder cult of blood mages. Morathi serves her own ambitions above all, and nowhere was this more evident than the moment of her ascension. Now, there's Volturnos getting his ass kicked in Anvilgard. Ahem. After convincing Sigmar to send a joint attack into the 8 points to seize a massive vein of Varanite, I guess, a magical material Archaon planned to use to break down the wards leading to Azir, Morathi stole the prize and left her Stormcast Eternal allies to die. If he dies, he dies. In a Varanite-fueled ritual, she seized countless more elven souls from Slaaneish's belly and devoured them to rise to true godhood, and immediately launched a bloody coup on the free city of Anvilgard, there it is, to claim it as her own. Very sad. I liked Anvilgard. It was my favorite city. I'm still mad. But not as mad as I would be if I had to use daemonettes to look this bad. In doing so, Morathi also usurped the cult of Khaine by declaring herself Morathi-Khaine, the murder god reborn. Her flock, those who believe her claims at least, now serve her with even greater devotion, throwing themselves into combat to offer up the blood of their enemies in glorious tribute, suffused with the power of their divine matriarch. Alright. What do we got here for battle traits? Daughters of Khaine armies can use the following. Okay, so we got a little bit of empty space here. They kept the Blood Rites table, much like IDK kept the High Tide table. Or the, what is it called? Tides of Death, I think, table. Once per battle, any combat phase, and one command point. Oh. Once per battle and a command point. Okay, so double cost. This better be good. Pick a friendly Daughters of Khaine infantry unit that is in combat to use this ability. That unit can use 2 fight abilities this phase. After the first, it has strike. Okay, so once a game, one unit gets to pile in twice for a cost. But you choose the best moment and you essentially do double damage. Very strong, as long as you have some durability, right? The fight twice, however you strike last style ability in AOS is really strong if you can make use of it, right? And that means being durable. So like a glass cannon that has fights twice but strike last on the second one, it doesn't matter, kinda, right? Because you could imagine you do a shitload of damage and then they get to go and then they kill you because you're a glass cannon. So this has to be on something with a little chutzpah on it. Some sort of like, I don't know what you would say, annihilators or something like that, or chaos chosen. It has to be on a big ass unit, probably. Once per game per unit? No, just once per game. Otherwise it would say once per battle per unit or something like that. First question, do you think all-out slaughter is once per game per unit? No. It's once per battle period. Otherwise it would say. Don't forget the Blood Sisters have a way to slap an enemy with strikes last if they roll over health characteristic. Oh, true. Good point. It might not have to be on a durable unit. It could be on a glass cannon if you giving your opponent strike last also. Maybe it works out that way. So that's another thing. But it is another hoop to jump through. Melee Snakes had a strike last ability they showed off, but we haven't seen their scroll if they're an obvious candidate or not. Yeah. Yeah, the text you would see down here, you would either see it up here once per battle per unit, or you would see it here, pick a friendly Daughters of Khaine infantry that has not used it this game or something like that. I think maybe the reason you're asking is because it's weird that a once per battle ability also costs a command point. You know, you'd think it would be one or the other. But I guess they're just really hesitant about doing double damage. And they're going to err on the side of making it costly to double your damage, which is fair, I think. Passive Blood Rites. Different effect applies to friendly Daughters of Khaine units each battle round is shown below. They are cumulative, right? The effects of all previous apply. Yeah, okay, so they're cumulative. There's a distinction for once per battle army abilities. It's still a question. I disagree. No, I don't think it's a question at all. I... No, yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. It's not a question. Yeah, that's reaching. That's a Jack Reacher reaching. Anyway, Quickening Bloodlust, add 1 to run rolls, whatever, unless they have run and charge still, which they used to have with a banner. Then it's good. Add 1 to charge rolls, good. Possibly very good if they still have that thing, which is run and charge. Battle Run 3, add 1 to hit rolls, good. Strong. Then add 1 to wound rolls, and then Battle Run 5, oh, this is different. So it used to be, 5 up ward? It used to be a ward. This was a durable thing. Now it's add 1 to tax characteristic, which is murderous, and buzzsaw kind of lawnmower stuff. There's no once per battle army, there's only once per turn army. Okay. This is a really good buff. It makes a little more sense for Doc, I guess, that they would be all in on offense for that. But also, Battle Round 5, I don't know, man. You talk out what happens in Battle Round 5 a lot. Maybe that's different in 4th edition. Because it seems like games are a lot closer, at least in Spearhead, from my research. There's a lot of ties or close to ties. Games are a lot closer. It's worth playing the last few turns. But yeah, whatever you get on Battle Round 5, you might be just talking it out anyway. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a cool bonus, but I don't know if you're going to really get to use it. Then again, you could always take Morathi's subfaction and move this thing up a little bit. So I guess the jury's still out. We don't know what they're going to do about this, if they keep those things or not. I think it was it Morathi's subfaction, right? They used to move the table up one round for your guys. Maybe there was a prayer to... No, I think it was just a subfaction. Anyway, battle traits. I can't remember what you used to have here. I know you had more. What did Doc lose here? If anybody plays Daughters of Khaine, what did you lose off of battle traits? I know you had everything. Daughters of Khaine really had a lot of stuff. They weren't quite Lumineth. Lost a command for exploding 6s. Okay, I mean that could just be on War Scrolls though. 6 up ward probably on all the War Scrolls as well. Anyway, are these good? I guess. Yeah. Depends on if we move the table up or not. If we still have run and charge, I assume they do. Doc has always really benefited from the strength of their War Scrolls and the incredible strength of their buffs. Their buffs coming in from every corner. You got magic buffs. You have automatic buffs that don't cost anything. You have command point buffs. You have prayer buffs. You have zones around your guys. Like, Daughters of Khaine really is the sponge unit. You got some unit of snake ladies or little naked elves, and they're like sponges. And then you have access to like every single different type of buff you could possibly have, and you just put those on them, and then they're buzzsaws. So having a battle trait fewer or whatever is kind of like, it's fine. Scathe Coven. Speed of the Scatheborn. If the unmodified charge roll friendly Melusai or Khinerai is 8, has strike first for the rest of the turn. Oh. Hey, okay, we're good. Oh wait, actually, that being said, I don't know how it works in 4th edition. But how it used to work depending was if you take strike last and you add it to strike first, you get strike normal. But the timing of the abilities also matters, and so we'll just have to see the full 4th edition core to see how this one works out. It may or may not be a combo. We'll see. I bet it just evens out because that's the sensical thing, and they're trying to make the rulings sensical now. it sucks to have to naturally roll some number. Now your Night Haunt, they're stealing the thing that I don't like about old Night Haunt, but at least it's an 8+ and not a 10+. So you're closing in on doing this, what, 40% of the time? 36% of the time? I don't know, something like that. Ahem. Matt Rose confirmed strike last and strike first 0 out, but does it even out in one of, like, so this type might not. He said it does, so just it probably will. I'm gonna move forward assuming it will, which is fine. Anyway, I don't really like this subfaction. After all that, I don't really like it. Random might not work. No thanks. I'll choose some guarantee. Strike first isn't even that good unless you're participating in multi-combats, which maybe you are, and so alright. And you can, I guess, charge on the opponent's turn, which is like the copium response for every single one of these things. Other formations instead sprint Khainite infantry across the battlefield with Wisp. Yeah, so this is your old teleport one. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it gave you a teleport and it was really good. Does that work with the +1 to charge? No. It says unmodified. And the +1 is a modifier. Use breathtaking acrobatics to ensure that charges hit home. Maybe re-rolling charges or something like that. I think I would rather. Maybe I'm just risk averse. I would rather make sure a charge lands than have a random chance of getting a bonus on it. I would take the sure bet so I can make better decisions instead of flipping a coin. But maybe that's just me. Chaperone mobile cauldron shrines to slam through enemy lines with mortal damage. Probably not. Probably want to keep those safe and have them buff everybody, but who knows. Okay. We'll see what these turn into. That sounds like the run and charge one. It isn't described in that way, but it very well could be. Yeah, maybe breathtaking acrobatics is the run part of that. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this one is the run and charge one. In which case, this is one I'm taking. Personally. Arcana and Incantations. Blade Wind. Oh yeah, it's the goop swords. They're swirling in goop. 12-inch flying, 7 health, 6 up save. Pretty weak, but it doesn't matter. If you get your opponent into a position where they have to fight an endless spell, you feel like you're winning. Or rather, you got what you wanted. Ooh, they're wasting their combat phase on this. So I think it's almost irrelevant what the save characteristic on it is. If they're attacking it, probably good. Bladed Vortex, 9 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1/1, crit 2 hits. Okay. Damage. Any combat phase unnatural edge. If this manifestation charged, pick an enemy unit and combat with it to be the target. Roll die, 3 up, ignore positive modifiers, save rolls. Okay. We'll see how common that is. 6 up ward as well. Good, yeah. It's some shit you can, for free, just place on the battlefield. It can roll some attacks, free damage, and it's going to waste one of your opponent's combat phases unless they try to banish it. Yeah. These are great. They don't have to be overpowered. They just like mechanically work well, I think. It also hits a lot harder than a lot of the other ones we've seen so far. Good movement as well. Beating positive modifiers or save rolls might be useful. It's useful against Stormcast, we know that, right? Big win there. Unit focus. Morathi-Khaine. Alright, do we get the Shadow Queen as well? We do, okay. I had to skip ahead a moment. 6 health, 5 up save. 2 control. Hard rendered wings. 5, 3, 4, 2, 2 is like halfway decent combat. You know? Mirror Dance. Cost 7. This is the switcheroo. Place 2 tokens on the battlefield when directly... Oh, so we're telling us how to do it in a way that's less likely... Well, more likely to get it right and harder to cheat. One directly underneath the center of a friendly Shadow Queen, and then remove the unit and the Shadow Queen from the battlefield. They switch places. If it is not possible to set up either of the units on the battlefield, return them to their original positions. Each unit can only be set up in combat with units that the other unit was already in combat. Oh, cool, okay. So you can still switch in combat, but only if the other was. And you can't do it unless they were. Okay. Fun. It's kind of cool. Sorcerer Supreme. Add 1 to casting. Oh yeah, I forgot to look. Triple Wizard. Okay, a Tri-Wizard. 6 up ward. 6 up, 5 up, huh? 1 soul, 2 bodies. Oh, we don't have the... We lost shoot twice. Or I guess fight twice. Good. It's going to make it a lot easier to balance all their war scrolls that way. It's going to mean that every war scroll combat profile they write, and every shooting profile, they don't have to factor in the fact that you will be doubling that. Just straight up doubling it every turn, right? So they get rid of that. And then they can make them whatever they should be. And they're like, okay, you're not going to do double damage out of nowhere. I mean, you lose a lot of power, but also kind of good. Fight twice is now the once per battle ability. Yeah, but it's also fight twice. It's not shoot twice. So the bow snake double shooty ability is gone. What about covering fire? Well, I guess it would have been 4 times. 1 soul, 2 bodies. Each time a damage point would be allocated to this unit, it is instead allocated to a friendly Shadow Queen. Cannot make any further ward rolls for that damage point. Further ward rolls, okay. So you have to get through the ward first then. If this unit would be automatically destroyed, it's not. Instead, allocate 3 damage points to a friendly Shadow Queen. If friendly Shadow Queen is destroyed, the unit is automatically destroyed. Okay, fair enough. Yep, she's still invincible. Probably. Still literally cannot be killed. I'm kind of sad to see it, but also I think we're getting rid of too many stupid fun abilities from the game. And so I'm kind of happy to see it stay. At the same time, I'm conflicted. 12 health, 12 move, 4 up save. Gaze of the Shadow Queen, 12 inch range, 1, 2, 2, 3, d6, whatever. 2 to hit, 2 to wound, 3 rend. This thing will still miss more than you would think. And then d6, boo. Shooting combat though. Heart render, 8 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2, 3. Crit mortal. Crit mortal on damage 3 with 8 attacks. Oh. Okay. Yeah, Shadow Queen slaps still. 10 control. Dude. Ogre stocks are through the floor. Sell. Crown of Serpents, 2d6, 4s and 4s, 1. And then 1 Envenom Tail, which does 6 damage. And you have like a 20% chance to get hit by it. And if you do, get wrecked. 6 damn. Ren 2. 3s and 3s. Yeah. Oh, good point. There's no... Yeah, she will not... There is no degrading. No wounds table. No monster bracket. She's too good for that. Kragnos, who is a god, he's got a damage table. Not the Shadow, not Daughters of Khaine. No brackets. Ironheart of Khaine. You cannot allocate more than 3 damage points to this unit each turn. Once 3 points have been allocated, any further damage points that would be allocated are ignored. Okay? It's the same as always. Absolutely invincible. Damage points allocated to this unit cannot be healed. If it would be automatically destroyed, it's not. And then allocate 3 damage to it. Okay. Doc Player's dad works at GW confirmed. She is also a god, just the best one in the rules writer's mind. Once per turn army, any... Wait, what do we got? 6 upward still? Yeah, fly. 12 fly. Once per turn army, any combat phase. Pick an eligible unit in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll D3 on a 2-up, inflict the amount of mortal damage to target equal to the roll. Okay, just damage. Rampage. If any models are slain by this ability for the rest of the turn, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of melee weapons used by Khinerai and Melisai while they are wholly within 12 of this unit. I don't think I want them to be. I mean, she is the best distraction Carnifex in the game. You throw her somewhere far away from everybody else, and your opponent just has to eat shit. There's nothing they can do, right? She can't die. And so they just have to sit there. Putting a bunch of Khinerai and Melisai around her as a Death Star, I don't know that I want to do that. I mean, I'll take D3 mortal wounds, or mortal damage, pardon me. But it's like you have to be fighting 1 wound infantry for the thing even to go off. I think this ability is a big miss from me. Don't like it. I don't think I like it tactically. And I don't like it results-wise either. It's just kind of like, if you happen to be fighting chaff, you roll D3, and then on a 2-up, you have a chance of getting Khinerai and Melisai, who probably won't be around her anyway, to get bonus attack. I'm not sure if I like this one. She's insane. Don't get me wrong. She can't die. Great move in flying, apparently. Giga damn, huge mortal. Yeah, the reduction in damage game-wide has not seemed to affect the Shadow Queen. Morathi-Khaine lost the double shoot, double fight thing. That got moved to battle tactics, so nerf there, I guess. But yeah, alright. Not 100% on this rampage. She's gonna cost 1,900 points or something. Anyway, she looks amazing. I don't know what I'm gonna do about her. Ahem. Next up, Sisters of S Laughter. 1 health, 5 up save. A car sploosh. 2 attacks, 3s and 4s, 0-1. Anti-infantry, +1 rend. Dance of Diversion. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for combat attacks that target this unit because they're so dexterous, right? 6 up ward. Each time you make an unmodified save roll of 6 for a combat attack with this target, inflict 1. Oh, so they kept their iron fists. We lost ours. They don't have... No more Pylon 6 on these Sisters of S Laughter. That sucks. Ahem. Yeah, losing your activating Pylon 6 on these guys is big sad. That was their main trick. That was why you took them, I thought. And instead of being up to, what? These had 3 attacks maybe, and the other ones had 4 or something, depending on what options you chose. They're down to 2. I don't know. Why do I want this? Why do I want them? Morathi Crit Mortal 3 is going to eat a lot of units in this game. Yes. Yeah, it's going to devour a lot of units. Crit Mortal Dam 3 on 8 attacks is going to melt the majority of units I've looked at. That's a concern. Khinerai Heartrendas. Were they always 12? They're probably Doc's best anvil. Oh, are you guys... So are you guys switching to being full glass cannon as well? Because you used to have some durability in there back in the old days, as my army did. But are we both losing that? Are we both just becoming glass cannons? That might be the case. If so, hey, welcome. Welcome to the glass cannon zone. Khinerai Heartrendas. 2 health. Weird. 5 wounds. Barbed javelin. And then, oh, it's just, we use the barbed javelin for both. Got it. 12-inch range, 2 attacks, 3s and 4s, 1 crit auto wound. You can drop and pop. I wonder if they still get a bonus rend on the turn they land. Ooh, they get a champion. Okay. Circling skies above. Yep, you can deploy them and deploy them anywhere. Fire and flight. If this unit used the shoot ability in this phase, it can move d6. It cannot move into combat during any part of this. Okay, and it auto works. One of these was roll, one of these was auto. I can't remember which one was which. So you can land and then shoot and then move d6 if you want. Okay. A deep strike unit that has shooting and flies and moves after it shoots is just great. These are going to be low-key. Khinerai were one of your best tactical options as Doc. Really excellent unit, and looks like they will continue to be. G. Well, thanks for the 5 Canadian dollar dues. Appreciate it. You're seeing a lot more plus rend over last editions, just giving everyone mortal wounds. Do mortal damage ignore wards this edition? No. They don't. You can ignore wards, but it has to, like, say it, and it's a very specific type of ability. They get an extra wound and attack, but they lost 2 move. Yeah, they used to be 14, they're down to 12 flying. And auto 6 went to d6. They used to move 6 after shooting. Oh, okay. What was the one that I was thinking of where it was random? Maybe that was somebody else. They can shoot after dropping down, move closer to charge. Yeah, so you can reinforce it to a unit of 10. I suppose you only have 1 attack, but you could land outside of 9, throw the spears, move d6 forward, and then charge. So you have like a... You technically have a guaranteed alpha strike, although it might not be... It might not have enough oomph to do it. Melee Khinerai could fall back on a 4-up. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of then. Life Takers, not Heartrendas. They lost stuff, they gained stuff, they lost stuff. They're still great. Also, it's hard to judge everything. It's hard to judge anything until we see, like, do you still have Mind Razor? How easy is it to cast? You have so many buffs that looking at War Scrolls and Doc is kind of goofy. Because you have so many different buffs, and you need to see how likely they're going to be. And what kind of hoops you got to jump through to get them. Like, this shit's probably a buff here, right? I don't know. There's so many. As a matter of fact, the Daughters of Khaine Warscrolls have always looked a little dumpy for, like, the attacks and everything. It's just, their buffs are so good that it's a lie, you know? Like, yeah, they have a bunch of attacks, I guess, but it's not that good. And then you're like, well, we are giving you +1 to wound, and +1 to wound, exploding hits, an extra rend, 2 damage, mortals on 6s maybe, and then you're like, oh, okay, I see. So I'm dead. Yeah, you're dead. Nothing matters until we see points. That too. Blood Stalkers. 5 up still. 2 health. Yo, 8-inch move? Snakes are still fast. Snake's still got the speed. Heartseeker bow 18. Hey, you kept your range too. 3 attacks, 3s and 4s, 1/1. Crit auto wound. And crit auto wound is extra good because you have to wound on 4s, I suppose. Although you get +1 to wound on turn 4. And you get +1 to hit on turn 3. Possibly turn 2, depending on what kind of moving up the table you can do, if anything. Almost certainly lost your mortal wounds, because everyone lost their mortal wounds to shoot. Basically in the whole game, as far as I've seen. Almost. Shooting attacks made by this unit score critical hits on an unmodified 5-up. If it did not use a move ability. Boo. Don't like it. Anyway, this is the Spearhead version. The real one might be different, but it looks like you have a pretty decent number of attacks. And you kept your range, but you lost mortal wound shooting just like everyone else did. I even lost my buzzards, you know. So they really are getting rid of that stuff. Range went down 18. They used to be 24. I thought they were 18. No, it was 18 was the range of the ability that doubled their shooting, right? That was it. Have we seen Sentinels? I don't think we've seen Lumineth. Oh, we have? Okay. Well, then fuck me, I guess. Oh, you're talking about Spearhead? Yeah, no. I mean like faction focus. Yeah, Lumineth is tomorrow supposedly by Crypt Shadow. Sentinels and Spearhead have auto wound crits. Okay. All right. 4th edition. Faction focus hype level. What's the hype level for Daughters of Khaine? Let's revisit. Bloodstalkers got nerfed in the way that all shooting has in the whole game. And so you have to take them, relatively speaking, to everybody else, which is they got nerfed by a lot. So did all other ranged. Okay. Khinerai Heartrenders, in context of 4th edition, great. Sisters of Slaughter. I think you lost just a lot here. You just lost a lot. I'm sure there'll be buzzsaws by the time you add everything, but there isn't a lot of hype here for me to read about. You kick back mortals for your potentially chaff, maybe not even chaff unit. Anyway, I'm sad about the 6-inch thing. Yeah, -1 to hit in 4th edition is very good. A lot of stuff hits on 4s, like me. The Shadow Queen and Morathi remain the most overpowered unit, probably in a vacuum, in the whole game. Just insane. And she kept basically everything that made her insane. And in the context of 4th, does insano damage. I don't know about this Rampage. I think this Rampage is kind of confused. I don't think it's very good. And Morathi-Khaine lost her most powerful ability, which was more than just a build around me. It was like a forced build around me. If you weren't building around Morathi-Khaine's overpowered ability, then you kind of weren't building a Doc army. I'm not sad to see it go, but it's still like a huge nerf, I guess. Right. It's also save rolls of 6, so if you were fighting Ren 2, the rule ceases to exist. No, it does. Yeah, you still roll technically. You roll looking for those 6s and you just get them then. So it's not, it's still technically worth actually rolling. You get something out of it. Bladewind is awesome. Seed of the Scatheborn, whatever. I'm more excited about all the other ones. Blood Rites, good. All-out slaughter. It's a once per battle and it costs a command point. It's still good. Combat attacks, what does that mean? It means melee. Oh, shouldn't it be like fight abilities or something? Maybe it should say fight, I'm not sure. Not being able to double fight Morathi is a godsend. Yeah, they specifically said infantry. I don't know that I've read a 4th edition army that can handle the Shadow Queen attacking twice. It'd be over too quick. Anyway, Daughters of Khaine lost a lot. You lost a lot moving into 4th edition. And you are still amazing. Absolutely amazing still. We don't know points yet, but there it is. I don't even care where she ends. Somewhere in Excited. A tier, whatever that is. Excited. You lost a lot though. Still amazing. Control 10, impossible to die. Kills anything. Lost some stuff though. Anyway, excited. We'll see where all the points land, but we'll see that for everybody anyway. She lost a lot. The army lost a lot. Daughters of Khaine lost some of the most stuff so far, maybe, kinda, as far as we know, right? Like, Tzeentch lost a lot. Daughters of Khaine lost a lot. Who else lost a lot? No, maybe kind of Nurgle, but Cycle of Corruption wasn't any good anyway. Oh yeah, Ogres. You guys lost a lot. But you can still be good even though you lose a lot. It's different, it's a different situation. 12-inch fly, control 10, unkillable, huge damage. Sounds good to me. There might be some Daughters of Khaine player somewhere in the world that resents the fact that you have to play Morathi if you want to play Daughters of Khaine. Like, these people are bound to exist, where they're just like, I don't want to have to play with Morathi. And I can imagine someone thinking that. In fact, it's gotten so bad that in my head, if you don't want to play Morathi, you shouldn't even choose Daughters of Khaine. But maybe that's just proof of how bad it got. You know? It looks like we're not living in a different world moving forward. You're playing with the coolest, best, you know, whatever, whether you like it or not. Isn't that the faction of all the snake archers? Yes. Every doc player says that and then continues to play her. I mean, sometimes the rules just force you to, right? Yeah, Daughters of Khaine is Morathi from a lore standpoint. You are right. If you don't want Morathi, you don't want Doc. I suppose so. That's you? You're one of those people? It's not because you don't like her, you just don't like that she became actually required. Yeah. I don't know that I would... I think I would try to fight against that innate hipster feeling. Because I share it too. You know, everybody has a little hipster in them somewhere, deep down. Where they're like, ooh, I don't want to play the popular... I don't want to play the most popular army. I don't want to do what everybody does when they do their thing, right? But... personally, if it's fun, don't sweat it. You know? You should be so lucky to play something popular that everybody kind of does, but it's fun. Imagine if your army didn't have anything that everyone did, but it sucked. The reason there wasn't cookie cutter builds is because it was shit. Like, you know, it could be worse. And it's also like a celebration of it in a way. Like, specifically what Frank just said there. You ain't catching me without Catacross and OBR. It's because they love Catacross. People want to play Scarbrand and Khorne it's a celebration of Skarbrand and Khorne, right? I mean, it happens to be those units are good too, but it's nice. It's not a big deal. Cruel Boys, well, we'll see about 4th edition. Right? People play a Frost Lord in every ogre list. And it just so happens he's the best unit in the army. Some would say the only unit in the army. But isn't it lucky that he's cool and good? Anyway. Skarbrand, please. I got bad news for you. Catacross is weird. He's kind of auto-include for high-end players, but then he's just like playable lower down. That's interesting. Yeah, kind of the opposite of usual, huh? Morathi on her bullshit, we can dream. Yeah, I mean, Morathi is still absolutely unkillable, right? Crazy damage, 12 flying, 10 control. Giving Skarbrand like 1,000,000 mortal wounds, or mortal damage, that's not out of pocket. Morathi kept her invulnerability and got Capture 10 out of the deal. Skarbrand 8 mortal damage is not out of the question. If they let Morathi keep this, what she kept, anything, any amount of hopium is completely justified suddenly, right? Because that's like the scale. You just don't like to use any unique heroes in your army. You prefer your headcanon stories. Hey, you should play ogres. We don't even have any. You should play fire slayers. They don't got any. You don't have to worry about that. It's my dudes start to finish. Morathi's ability is worse now, though. Yes, it is. Think of countercharge or reactive shooting. I think you're going to deal 3 to Morathi on each player turn. In 3rd and in 4th. I think. Maybe not. Maybe only like tuned lists or something like that. But you're always going to have to commit to it and spend resources on it and get punished for it. I don't know. It feels, well, I'll say this, Belema. It feels really different playing against Morathi than with her, I think. And maybe we're just in our own headspace about it. So we'll see. I mean, you can do all of that stuff to any unit in the game, and it just dies. You gotta do it to Morathi over and over and over and over, and suffer the swing back every time. So, even if you can kill her pretty quick, you're gonna lose a lot during all that, I think. You're paying a cost for it. But the Doc player is paying a cost too. Probably like 700. Who knows? Raid boss style, actually. Yeah, you have to develop strategies to fight against it. Phase 1, Phase 2. Anyway. Chat, good talk. We got another A-tier Excite, I think. If I was a Daughters of Khaine player, I would probably move it here because you lost a whole lot and it's hard to see past that. Clearly, it's hard to see past that, you know. But you still have a lot of great stuff, unlike some others. So, as an outsider, I'm A-tier excited for Doc. If I played Doc, she would probably be down in B, because you did lose a lot, you know. And there's my fairness doctrine. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.